What's up, guys? Welcome to Finance with Tony. I'm Tony, and here we sharing ideas about frugal lifestyle. And hot hello all the way from Novosibirsk City. I started in the beginning of this channel. I decided to start from quick observation of Novosibirsk City. And where I have living, where I'm living, and on the background you can see the central station of Novosibirsk Railway. On the background you can see the central station of Trans-Siberian Railroad, the central station of Trans-Siberian Railroad in Novosibirsk City, and also you can see some trolley buses, or I'm not really sure how it's called, but probably in Russia we call it that trolley buses. It using electricity, and also like electrobuses, actually, I guess. But also here we have some hotels and buildings, and other stuff. The traffic outside today is rather calm, because it's just a calm day. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the pandemic. Maybe with rain that was just a few minutes ago. And if you don't like the weather in Siberia, just wait a few minutes. It's going to be different. I mean, maybe it's not so literally like in New England, but during the summer, during the spring and fall, I guess it's definitely kind of relevant here. It's true about Siberia too. And speaking about the streets in general, it's quite a spacious and streets, and usually it's not a typical thing for European lifestyle, for European architecture, but Novosibirsk Novosibirsk has quite a short history, just 100 years, and these prospects, these streets, was mostly constructed during the communist era, and also this building was initially the construction of this building on the background. I mean, the central station of Trans-Siberian Railroad. It's 1893. 1893. It was one of the first buildings in Novosibirsk City, and it was rebuilt in 1934 after a huge fire. speaking about infrastructure, like all cities in the post-Soviet countries, Novosibirsk has public schools, I mean basically public education system, and also public infrastructure like railroads, airlines, sorry, not I mean airports, of course, airport, an international airport, and usually the common question, how do you live in Novosibirsk? How you can even live here with so cold winters, cold winters. Here's quite a cold building, I guess. It's a moment in the band. But here's a really old building, and on the background you can see the new one, and on the other side part of the street you can see some typical Soviet architecture. And here's some advertisement of events, even though there is during this pandemic some events are available. Here's a building of one of the events hall, or one of the events halls, and also here's a little bit greenery, and well, back to the question about harsh Siberian winters. I make this video at the moment is just the middle of May, and as you can see, I can sunbathing, and also speaking about Siberia, definitely it's more like contrast. It's more about extremes. Definitely extreme winters, but also quite a warm spring, and also definitely warm or maybe hot summer, up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer, up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer. That there is, I guess, up to 38 degrees Celsius, and taking into account the low humidity, relatively low humidity index, it could be, but I'm not really sure about humidity index. You can check me. I'm not really sure, but usually you can enjoy sunshine at least few months a year, and from May to September there's no doubt you have like 5 months, usually quite shiny weather. Of course, it could be a bit rainy outside, but usually you can spend all the summer in the countryside, or on the countryside, I'm not really sure. On the countryside, Siberians also often Siberians have second houses that called dacha on the countryside, with gardening, or just with the yards. And also Novosibirsk has an artificial sea, which is a huge benefit comparing to Moscow, comparing to St. Petersburg, and other cities, many cities in Russia. An artificial sea, it's quite a thing. I mean, it looks like a sea actually, and with maybe not so huge waves, but anyway, it's a bit with yachting, with beaches. You can choose the beaches with sand or without sand. I mean, it's up to you. And many Siberians spend winters in Thailand, and also it's a melting pot of cultures. You know, it's quite important, I guess, for people in Siberia, because this territory has so huge time gap with Moscow, like 4 hours time gap with Moscow, and it's not so regulated. I mean, it's quite difficult to regulate strictly regulate this territory all the way. People who live in Siberia, I guess, feel some freedom, because Siberia is 1/10 of the landmass, and I mean, basically Siberia is 10% of the